Hello, and welcome to an all new episode of Black Empowerment 365. I'm one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Los Angeles, California. I'm here with my wonderful co host, Kiana. How are you doing, Kiana?
I am wonderful tonight. It is raining here, but it is still beautiful as usual in Charlotte. So, how is it over there in LA, and how are you?
I'm doing good. It's beautiful as it is always. It's so funny here in Los Angeles that when it does rain, people freak out. It's like you would think it's like hail or snow or something. I mean, the weather people freak out, the drivers freak out. It's like a big deal. But we always pray for rain because it doesn't rain here quite often. But yeah, so I'm a little jealous of you right now. So, but I am glad that you're doing well and all is good. And we have a wonderful show tonight. Two people that I admire very much, and definitely are they have a wonderful show. We're going to be talking about it. So let's not waste any time and get right to it. First, we have Avalaura. How you doing, Ava?
I'm amazing. How are you, Kente and Kiana?
Excellent.
Don't you just love how that rolls off, Kente and Kiana?
I like it. I like it.
I do too.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
And her partner in crime, the one and only Fitzgerald. How you doing, brother?
Salute, King and Queen. Doing well. Thank you for having me.
All right. So we're so happy to have you guys, and we're going to talk a lot about Boot2Boom as well as different projects that you guys have and whatnot. But I want to first start off with a little background, and we'll start with ladies first. Ava, tell us a little bit about you and where you come from and that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much. So I'm a life coach and an intuitive consultant out of the DC area, specifically in College Park, Maryland. And, I have been a business owner for about just over 10 years now and loving the journey. Started my background in social work. My last plantation job, I'm going to say. I was a program director at an outpatient mental health clinic, basically in charge of the whole shebang, and absolutely miserable in a job that I hated, working with people that I could not stand in a very toxic work environment. We were supposed to be helping other people and we couldn't help ourselves. It was pretty bad. You talk about negative energy. It was like negative energy times 10. And, I just found myself really miserable, feeling stuck, feeling like here I worked so hard, got my degree, did all of this work. And instead of really helping people heal like I knew that I wanted to, I was simply helping people to just maintain their dysfunction. And that was not enough for me. That's not what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I was called to do greater things. And so my journey was finding out, who am I? Why am I here? What is it that God called me to do? And once I found that out, I couldn't help but do it and help other people to do it for themselves as well. So that's what I get to do on a daily basis now as the owner of Avalaura's Healing Center. I get to help people to move from whole to wholeness and not only dream big, but actually give them a step-by-step plan on how they can actually live their big dreams.
All right. And I love your spirit, Ava. So I'm just so glad that you're here. And Fitz, give us a little bit of background about you so everybody will know who you are, where you're from, and what you're about.
Woo! I got you. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate you. I love to see people doing their thing and making an impact, and you two are definitely making an impact, But I am a Fitzgerald Hartnett, strategic marketing consultant. All that means is I'm good at what I do.
If he doesn't say so himself.
Look, I'm forward. I wasn't going to comment about the mental health thing. As I kind of think she kind of escaped. You know what I'm saying? She kind of escaped. But I wasn't going to say that. She's talking about it was toxic. I had to get out.
He wasn't going to say it, but he said it.
Right. Because you interrupted me, so I got to fire back. Shot fired.
See what I deal with?
Jesus. Man, I
It's
already
Friday
know.
night, y'all.
Hey.
You can't have a show on Friday night.
Hey, you know what they say? Do not fire unless you fire the
I'm
pun.
good. I'm good. I can handle mine.
Absolutely. So I'm a full-time single dad to one amazing son, and we work hard. I started my entrepreneur journey when I was about knee-high to a grasshopper. No, I was cutting grass for a long time, and then I transitioned to other things, and I started my own company. I was a screen printer embroiderer, and I was good at what I did, but nobody knew I existed. And, you know, as an entrepreneur, when nobody knows you exist, they can't bring you any money. And when you're not getting any money, the landlord is not too happy with you. So hence, I got evicted. They said, you got to go, baby.
Look what happened, see?
Doors closing.
She escaped and you got kicked out. Okay, let's keep it rolling.
They said doors closing, like, you know, Metro. Doom, doom. That's a DC thing. Sorry.
Yes, I remember.
So,
I remember.
You know, they closed the doors, and I was hurting. I was really, as a man, you know, that was a blow to my manhood and my ego, especially as a dad. You know, I didn't know what to do. So I did like what any other red-blooded American would do. Get out here and got a job. You know, I got a job. And during that time, I learned that I really wasn't cut out to be an employee. And so I became a student of marketing and sales because that's those. But nobody else knew that I existed. So I learned that stuff, became very proficient at it, you know. And so I started a website where I help other entrepreneurs keep their doors open because mine got closed. So, you know, keepyourdoorsOpen.com. That's where you can find me to help you get unstuck, help you get some visibility, because when you're called to greatness and nobody knows it, you're not serving the world. That's it in a nutshell, baby.
Well, thank you very much for sharing, and thank you so much for you two being on the show. And the first place I want to start off with, and I'm gonna direct this at Avalaura, is one thing about Blab is becoming famous for is if you throw a rock into Blab, you're gonna probably hit a life coach, right? There's life coaches on Blab. And, right. You know, Kiana is one, and there's probably many in our audience as well. But I would like to get your definition of what a life coach is and how
you had it right the first time.
It
is beneficial. Absolutely. You know, I mean, you're absolutely right, Kente, and you know, and one of the things that I deal with, unfortunately, on a daily basis is talking to people who have been burned because they've invested in coaching. And a lot of times it's with the wrong coach or the right type of coaching. So maybe they invested in a business coach, but they really needed a life coach, or they invested in someone who had a really big name, had a very big presence, had that visibility that Fitz is talking about, but they weren't really good at what they did. Right. And so it's a very valid question because coaching is an unregulated field. So anybody can call themselves a coach.
Absolutely.
But then you have people like me who, you know, I has a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in social work, certified spiritual life coach, who I have trained as, and not only have I trained in it, this is who I am from the day that I was born. So it's really difficult, unfortunately, for, you know, a lot of people to know the difference when so many people are just out there being visible, when you can just throw up a website and say, hey, look, I'm a coach. Because essentially that's what's happening. And so the consumer really needs to do their due diligence and, you know, and getting to know the person that they want to work with, getting their references, finding out who they are, you know, at their core and what their specialty is and how they can help them. But I think coaching is one of the most beneficial things that you could ever do for yourself. I have certainly seen that in my business. I have seen that with myself personally. And one of the things that I tell my clients is that I don't do anything that I don't tell you to do anything that I have not done or would not do personally. So when I say to you, you should get a coach, I have had many coaches, and I know how they have benefited my life. And I know how, there were areas of my life where I was stuck, or things that I couldn't see about myself personally that somebody had to bring out to let me know. And once I saw that, it opened up these doors of opportunities for me that weren't previously there.
Now, let's say you were in the market for a life coach. What were some things that would be a red flag that would make you go, okay, don't mess with that person? Or what advice would you give someone? I'm gonna say something a little
controversial, in that sometimes the people with the most Facebook ads, who have the prettiest marketing, who have the tightest sales pages and copy and all of that, are the people you want to run.
Yeah.
Real talk. And I have heard this from a lot of people that, I'm not going to say any names, but there are people who they have to keep constantly marketing and throwing money at that because they have to keep getting new clients because they keep burning their old clients. And so, they have a presence, they have a name, they're out there, they are known, they are visible, but they constantly have to keep getting in new people, because once people come into their system and then they don't get what they want, they leave, they don't come back. So, sometimes people that look like they have it all together are the ones that you actually want to say, I don't know about that. And the other thing is, when you see their messaging on their website, when you hear them, when you talk to them, are they congruent with their message? Are they saying the same things that you see that they have out there? Do you see testimonials? Do you know real people that they've worked with? That's always a sign. What are the results that they can promise you? So all of those things. And one of the biggest things, truthfully, that a lot of times we overlook is our own intuition. Women, we have a very strong intuition. Sometimes you just know. I get people all the time. They run across my website. They see me and they're like, Avalaura, I love you. I just knew I had to work with you. So use your intuition. Sometimes something just doesn't feel right. Or this person, they might not be a bad person or a bad coach, but maybe just not the one for you.
Wow. That's really powerful. So, I mean, I want to talk about the marketing and what are some fits? So this is actually for you. What type of entrepreneurs do you work with the most when it comes to marketing and being very strategic about, putting their business out there? What are some of your entrepreneurs?
Service-based professionals, those that require an appointment to see them, whether it's whoever. I mean, pretty much, if you need an appointment to see them, if you can't just walk in and talk to them, dentists, I work very well with, real estate agents. Right now, I'm working with what do they do? Right. I'm like, what does he do?
Oh,
he's a consultant. Yeah, I'm like, what is he?
Don't tell me that.
But if you Google him, he's on page 1.
Oh, Jesus, Fitz. Okay, now this is like a side note. Like, with everything that you've been through, Fitz, and you just told us a little bit background. Where do you get this spirit? You have like this amazing spirit about you. Just right? Where does that come from?
Well, where does that come from? That comes from the era when Prince and El DeBarge and all them light-skinned, red-bone, high yellow jokers was in, and a brother like me couldn't get no love. So, when you... So, you had to learn to love yourself because females wasn't trying to... They didn't give you no airtime. you know, until
I
Wesley
always
Snipes came
love
in,
chocolate,
you know.
for the record. Always.
Once
I
he
know,
got it
right?
open game,
Always.
Well, then, how
Pardon me?
does that energy tie into your business and helping your clients?
Well, you really got to be up for anything because you never know what you're going to come across. People always have life happens. Life really happens, and you have to learn to adapt to whatever situation that you're in. Because one of the first things you got to learn how to do is survive. Once you overcome the survival mode, then you can thrive. Because as an entrepreneur, I was on survival mode for so long that it caused me to have have a mentality of lack and scarcity. And so I was reserved because I didn't want to share what I had because I was like, nah, like my grandmother said, boy, get all you can and can all you get, So, older people had a different way, a different perspective. And so for me, I've learned to adapt and adjust to whatever's coming your way. Part of my story is my son, him and his mom and she was killed by a drunk driver. So when you got to raise a young boy by yourself, you got to answer these questions, life still happens. So you got to keep moving. Life still happens. So I can't afford to be a dead battery. I got a 15-year-old looking at me like, Daddy, what's up? So that's how it translates into my business because I got to go out there and kill something in order for me to eat it. That's an entrepreneur.
Now, this question is for both of you. You guys work with helping people, life coaching and strategy and stuff. Is there anything that would make you not want to work with somebody? Is there, you know how they say, not all money is good money. Is there something that, I don't care what they're trying to pay me. I'm not.
Oh, absolutely. I will turn down people in a heartbeat. But I've learned. This came over time. When I first started in business, anybody who wanted to come be a client, I was excited. I was like, yeah, I got clients. And, over time, after working with a few headaches, I started to see, signs that, nope, this is definitely the kind of person that I want to avoid. And, so I absolutely, there are definitely people, when I get people that out of the gate, and this happened to me, would they already start talking badly about somebody else that they've worked with, that's usually a red flag for me. And not to say that you can't have bad experiences, but nobody was able to help you, and you're telling me names. And so I'm thinking, okay, what if you start working with me and then you start telling that, well, Avalaura, I went to, I went to this person and I didn't have a good experience, but you start calling out names. That's a red flag. Also, people who just have unrealistic expectations. You think you're going to come for one Reiki session and you're going to be healed. Or you come for one coaching session, that everything is going to be right as rain. That just because you decided that this is what you wanted to do, now everything is just going to fall into place and work out the way you want it to work out. So they just don't understand the process of really healing and transforming their lives. They have very unrealistic expectations. And then people who just aren't even willing to invest in themselves, who want you to discount your services. Well, I can't afford that. So, and this is the thing. Again, I told you my background is in social work. And so in mental health and social work, you're really trained that you take everybody. You try to help everybody. That really is part of the training, that you don't turn people down. And so in the beginning, I kind of struggle with that is, okay, well, if you can't afford this, what can you afford? That whole sliding scale fee. And so, getting people like that who aren't willing to invest, and yet, I discount my services, but then you're coming to me every week with, Starbucks, and you're talking about what vacations you're going on. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm giving you a sliding scale fee, and you got money for Starbucks and money for vacation? Hold on now. So, there's definitely, I learned over time, certain people that I absolutely just did not want to work with.
And it's Fitz, you as well, if you can answer that question.
Well, I'm a little different. If you don't have no budget, not much we can talk about. I mean, but no, I shouldn't say it in that fashion. But when people are so argumentative and have a lot of excuses off the break, and they want to battle me in trivial conversations, I know that it's not going to be a good fit, because in visibility and marketing type thing, it's a structured approach. Pretty much, you got to do this, let's do this, boom, 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 and we'll get you the results. But if you want to argue and say, "Well, look, I want to do it like this, and I think we should do it," no, that's not going to work for me, because I'm a strong personality, and even I know how to tame. I know how to take it down a notch for business, but at the same time, the mental health coming out. See that the mental health start having flashbacks. So those and then people who don't want to invest in their solutions, because
that's right.
If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you value the solution and the problem is pressing enough, then they'll find a way to work it in their budget, their allotment, whatever they want to call it. So for me, those are kind of the red flags. If you're arguing about little stuff and there's no follow through, and to be truthful, I do stalk you on social media to find out who I'm dealing with before I actually take you on as a painter, because that's important. You gotta have that continuity. From, like Michael Collier said Tuesday night, when you open your mouth, you can tell where somebody's from. Not from where they're from physically, but from where they are mentally. The intellect, where they're coming from. And so that he vocalized what I had known but didn't know how to express. So that really is one of the things that I go by when I'm dealing with
all right people. So go ahead, Kente.
I want to real quick give you guys a lot of props too on that last interview, Michael Collier. I watch him in Venice Beach back in the day.
Yeah.
So I seen him back in the day when he was a Venice Beach comedian.
Yeah.
And he was cold on them hecklers. He would destroy those guys. It was a sight to see. I would never have tried to heckle that guy, but he was really, truly amazing. So it was cool.
Oh, really?
I've seen him around, because I think he lives in my neighborhood. I see him around
with the bars in the windows.
Huh?
Yo, Fitz. Out of control.
You should have seen them. Y'all see where I live? You see them bars? I got them big dogs downstairs.
I got bars on my window.
That joke he was funny. Boy.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about the show, because I want to know what really drove you guys to start the show. And I mean, it's very successful. I mean, I love the show, but what really drove you guys to really sit down and say, this is something that we need to do?
Well, we both had our own reasons for starting the show. Both being entrepreneurs. Thank you. See the chat. I love it too. Thank you. I've always wanted to do TV. I had a radio show for 2 years, which I loved, and I've always wanted to do TV. And when I first saw the Blab platform, I knew that I was going to do a show. It was just a matter of what type of show that I was going to do. And I just kind of watched Blab for a while, the people on it, just kind of what people were talking about. And I saw all this stuff about entrepreneurship, and marketing and social media and sales. And, you got to be authentic, and, people buy from who they love, and, all this talk. And then on the flip side, and sort of the coaching arena, as, sort of Kente was talking about, I saw these coaches talking about, these business coaches, saying, I can coach you to make 6 figures and 7 figures in your business. Like, that was so freaking easy. know?
Yes. Right?
And you know, and here I am, you know, as a life coach and intuitive consultant, I work with entrepreneurs all the time. And being an entrepreneur myself, I know it's not that easy. I know the grind, I know the hustle, and I also know that a lot of entrepreneurs, we tend to take a backseat in our own life. You know, we're not taking care of ourselves the way that we need to. Our business is our baby. And so a lot of us in some capacity are struggling in our lives. And so I wanted to do Boot2Boom to say that, hey, look, you can be a successful entrepreneur. There are many out there, but this is what it's really going to take. This is the behind the scenes. If you want to make 6 figures, 7 figures, if you really want to make an impact in the world, if you truly want to be the great person that you say you want to be and you want to touch lives, this is the formula. This is what you got to do. So I wanted to show the behind the scenes, not the whole rah-rah, you know, that everybody's presenting, but really the real, the raw truth. Because I'm all about the raw and the real, getting to the root of stuff, you know? So that's what I wanted to show with Boot2Boom. And so for me, in that capacity, it's been a success because our guests are definitely raw and real, each and every very
yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have guests that people don't even know they need to know. You know what I mean? That's what's so amazing about it. It's like you're so happy that you came in contact through your show with those people. And I mean, it's truly amazing. I love you guys' show. And but I want to go back. I want to moonwalk a little bit back, and I want you guys or your origin, how you guys met and decided to work together. You guys argue sometimes like your brother and sister.
Look that look. I know. Don't let Fitz answer the first.
You want the truth? You go ahead so I can tell the truth after.
I'll be quiet. Go ahead, tell the story.
That's why I told Fitz to go first, Ava.
Yeah, you can go first. Go ahead. Here we go. I spoke already.
I told my story. I wrote it down, and you see, she deleted it just as fast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A little faster yourself, you know.
Jesus.
Right.
First of all, Kiana asked the question.
What's the question, Mr. Kente?
How did you guys meet, and how did you guys decided you guys wanted to work together?
How we start dating? Is that the question? Because the show, boy, I tell you. No, I was doing a show on Friday night, and I happened to see this avatar, you know, in my show constantly, and then she hit me up and was like, "Hey, I like what you're doing. We want to do a show together." I'm like, "I don't know you. I don't trust you."
Well, that part of it is kind of true.
The stranger.
So, you know, and then I was like, "Well, what do you want to do? What's the format? You know, tell me more. I'll listen." You know, because I didn't know her, didn't trust her, and so I was like, I'll listen. You know, it doesn't hurt to listen. And so then she, you know, told me how chocolate and sexy I was and how good I did on TV. You know, so she was like, "I gotta work with you." You know, and I was like, "Eh." And then I realized, aren't you married? It's like, no.
That took a whole turn that I didn't expect.
But that's how it happened. That's how it happened. I mean, she stalked me and I said yes. You know, she just kept showing up. Like a little
Lord have mercy. I'm so glad he went first.
I was like, okay.
Me too.
I'm so glad he went first.
That was a mouthful.
I'm prepared for the movie. Oh, man, I can't wait for the movie.
You writing the script, Kente?
Coming.
Oh God.
And I already dubbed Kevin Hart to play me. So we already agreed to that.
Pre-sales online.
Pre-sales online.
Boot2Boom.tv, baby.
Oh my.
Oh,
Well,
Yes.
so what had really happened was so my first weekend on this, my first weekend on Blab, I think I did a Blab on a Thursday night with a friend and got kind of hooked from like the first Blab. And then Friday night I ended up on the Blab with oh God, her name escapes me right now. But she's on Periscope. I was watching her on Periscope. And she's like, hey, we're going to hop over to Blab. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to go. She's like, who's going to come with me? And I ended up co-hosting it. It was on Friday night. I ended up co-hosting with her for like 3 hours. Like once I got in the seat and started talking, they basically did not let me leave. So she left. Avalaura, hold it down for me. I'm going to come back. This was her Blab now.
Whoa.
Yeah. So and Fitz was one of the people that came in,
right.
And the Blab was all about, greatness. What are you great at? Be the change that you want to see in the world. Kind of what are you doing to make a difference? And Fitz told his story, and I was like, wow, like he's so transparent. Like, who is this dude? Like, because he talked about it. That his fiance at the time, was killed by a drunk driver, and he was a single dad. And so, I was just like, wow, that's heavy. And he was just so transparent off the break. And then I think afterwards he was doing another Blab, and we ended up in the Blab together with some other people and basically hanging out the whole night talking. So that's how we met. So that's how I came to know him, and then found out, of course, that he was in the DC area, like I was. So that's how we connected. And so as I got this idea for the show, and I looked at the format, and I noticed that other people, it was either just them co-hosting, or if they had a co-host, it was maybe like 2 women or 2 men. There was no like men and women, for a show. And I just thought that dynamic would be really cool. And I know I'm a little, more calm and laid back. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of funny too, but you need people to balance you out. So I thought that it would be a nice balance that, even though he's kind of sort of smart sometimes, he's that comic relief. So you kind of need that. So that is how that is how we came about.
I love both versions.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask. They're very entertaining. We'll work them both in the movie somehow, but no longer is it. All right, so Fitzgerald, let me ask you a question. What do you think? Just talking about the show Boot2Boom, and we'll go more deeper into it. But what do you think is what quality you like most about Ava in doing the show? We're gonna go back and forth with this.
What I like most about her is that she's really structured, and she definitely brings the structure to the program. It's a lot of work booking these guests. It's people have no idea what it takes to get these A-listers, these 5-star brands. I mean, and her dedication to the mission and our purpose for doing the show, I really have come to appreciate and value that, because it's like you don't know what's involved until you really got to do it. There was a time when she got, I don't want to say burnt out, but it was a lot on her plate. So I took over looking at guests, and I was like, God damn, girl, you had his back. Hurry up and get better. You know what I'm saying? Hurry up and get better. Hurry up and get better. And but just her structure, because I'm abstract, if you haven't noticed. I'm a little abstract. But her structure and her rigidness and attention to detail has helped the show be the success that it absolutely has. Because I could not have achieved what I could not have taken this ride by myself to the level and the velocity that it's taken us to get there by myself. So I definitely I'm thankful God. You know, I thank God that she stalked me, you know, and got me to agree. So.
Yo.
What do you like about this guy over here? What do you like about it? You know, you said he's transparent. You like that. But what do you think?
You know, even though we're laughing and joking and all that, I mean, Fitz and I have really grown to become really good friends, and so, you know, just even outside of the show, and that's not something that I ever necessarily anticipated. You know, I'm a solopreneur, so I have worked by myself for 10 years.
Stop it.
And so I haven't had any like long-term partnerships, you know, outside of a marriage. So I was like, oh my God, like this is like a marriage. Like this is work, maintaining this partnership. But we've really grown to be really good friends. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate his friendship. I really appreciate him being there. And I appreciate his willingness to, you know, Avalaura, what do you need? You know, what do you need? What do I got to do? You know, so I appreciate that. And he handles the stuff that obviously, you know, I don't do. I don't do marketing. You know, that's not my thing. So, you know, it really is a nice balance. You know, he you know, he does the things that I don't want any parts of, that I don't want to do, and I do the things that he don't want to do. So it's been a really good balance.
Wonderful.
Now, a quick side note before Kiana asks her question is, people don't know this. The way I met Kiana was through Avalaura. So, you know, so it's one of those things where because of knowing you, Ava, I actually was able to meet Kiana, who
look at that.
Now I do programs with too. So there you go. Thank you. Avalaura.
Y'all get married?
I'm like waiting. I'm waiting for Kiana to call me like,
what's y'all gonna do?
Laura.
Laura.
Can I tell the story though, Kente? Can I tell the story, please? Because this
Oh my God,
story. I love this story. Can I please tell the story?
Oh gosh.
Okay, so
there's 17 people here.
So
God.
Kiana and I, you know, periodically we get together and do these marathon blabs, you know, on like a Friday night, where she would keep me up to like 5 a.m. talking about God knows what.
It's funny, man. Those are funny.
I mean, really just having a good time, laughing and joking and just having a good time. And so on this particular night, Kente comes in the blast. And I gets no love. As soon as Kente sees Kiana, he says, "Who is that?" "She's a vision." The vision. I said, "Whoa, she's a vision." The vision. I got no love, y'all. It was all about Kiana after that.
Oh, so y'all really into each other?
Lord have mercy. I mean, Kente was like, where's she been all my life?
Oh, okay.
Where have you been hiding her? I've never seen her before.
You know what's funny? You know what's so funny about that is that you know Dante. Everybody knows Dante. Who?
No, it was our blast.
Yeah,
I think it might.
Dante was there though.
Yeah, and I remember.
Yeah, he was like, Dante, you've been holding out on me.
I was like, man, were you hiding her?
Oh my God! Stop it, Fitz!
Oh,
Stop it!
Rap connection. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
God, so
yes.
East Coast meets West Coast. What?
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Y'all are funny.
I want to be there.
So
So
back to
I didn't know y'all was into talk like that for real.
the show.
Oh,
Back to the Avalaura.
reality.
I just told the story. I didn't say y'all were together. I just told the story.
Right.
But Kente copped the plea. He copped too. He said, hey, I was like, where you been hiding, dude?
He just said, tweet this out. Oh my gosh. The vision.
It was so sweet, y'all. He said the
It was
vision.
sweet.
I was like, dang, can some man call me a vision? I want to be a vision. Can I get some love over here?
So wait a minute. So your husband just went to the spoon and choke each other out?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it was fun. It was good times.
My goodness. Oh my gosh. I had a lot of fun that night. I did.
That was cool. That was real cool.
I bet you did. Shucks. Look what they got you now. We got a show together, baby. And we on the road. We doing big things together. I didn't know this. You gotta set me up now. What?
These labs are off the record, so there's no evidence.
All the way left now.
But the show.
I sure did have a question.
So,
I specifically remember on one of your shows, you spoke about it takes a team of people.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to people that are here, that are still join with us, about how important it is? And this is for both of you guys, if you can share how important it is to have a team of people to do what you guys do, because Boot2Boom is, whoo,
It's a machine.
I'll say the team really is important, and you got to have people who believe in you and are not serving for their own self-serving reasons. You know, they're not just on your coattails because they're going to spring ahead of you, you know, because they're waiting for the opportunity. And so, you know, I definitely got to give a shout out to my man, the Grand Wizard, well, not the Grand Wizard, but the London Wizard.
Lee.
My man, we call itself 2015, you know, and just having a joint vision with Avalaura, you know, because there are times when you don't feel like doing something and the show must go on. You know, it's times when you have 5 people in your blab, but the show must go on. You know, it's times when guests don't show up, but the show must go on. And not taking it personal has been if I had to give one lesson about doing a show, don't take it personal. You know, don't take it personal, because life happens. You never know what that guest may be dealing with at that particular time. Like we had scheduled Linda Dunn, who was another underground superstar, but then Chris Rock goes and blows it. You know, he says, you know, Linda Dunn's always beating my girls. You know, the Girl Scout cookies on one of them award shows on the Oscars. And when he said that, her whole world didn't come crumbling down, but press was everywhere.
That week on the show, so he was to say,
so that kind of stopped us from getting her.
Yeah.
All clear to Mr. Chris Rock on the Oscars, but hey, that just shows you the caliber of guests that we're bringing.
I'm sorry, my ultimate favorite was Dennis Kimbrough. That was my favorite. That was an amazing show. It was.
I worked hard for that interview too. You talk about a team. That was some teamwork getting that interview. And you know, I definitely.
If she done what I told her to do, the time would have been cut in half.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, Kiana, because that was one of the things that I talked about in my talk yesterday, when I talked about, you know, the 7 W's from Whole to Wholeness. And one of them was the we. It was the community. It was having the team. It was having the support, and how important that is in our lives. And like I said, you know, I have functioned all this time as a solopreneur. So it's pretty much just been me. Obviously, I've taken on projects with other people, but not long-term projects. So this is, sort of new uncharted territory where constantly working with the same team week to week to produce this show, because really we're producing a show. And so it has been a lot of work in ways that I didn't necessarily anticipate, and I've needed help in ways that I didn't necessarily anticipate. And so for Dennis Kimbrough, for example, I had contacted him and he said yes, but then when I followed up, didn't hear back from him. Followed up, didn't hear back from him. So then I had to get somebody else who knew him to say, hey, this woman is trying to contact you. They got his number, and then I called him that way and got him. And so it is one of those things, like Fitz said, is that aligning with people who have a common vision, who are really there to support you, to help you, who are not trying to compete with you, not trying to see you fail, but genuinely want to see you be successful. And right. Yes, Mr. Wizard is definitely, one of those
He's
people
amazing.
that has helped me from, almost from the beginning. I mean, like he's freaking in another time zone, and I feel like he's always there. Like, how are you always up when I need you, and you're like 5 hours ahead of us? But
he is amazing.
He has been such a tremendous blessing, even in ways of just encouragement. Like, Ava, you got this. You can do this. You're a professional. Ava Oprah. That's what he called Ava Oprah. Like, you got this. And I mean, just that alone, just those words speaking life has been a tremendous help. In times where I'm like, I don't know about our guests. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going on. He's like, you got this. You know what you're doing. So yeah, a team is just so incredibly important.
And one thing you got to make sure is you don't judge a book by the cover, because when the Wizard first came on, she was like, Fitz, you gotta see this dude. Fitz, you gotta see this dude. And I was back in my clown.
And he was an A.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. I love when he said
I was like, who is this A?
Stay.
Why he got so much to say?
I know, he was an A.
Talking about records and all the other type of stuff. I'm like, who is this dude? Then we finally heard his voice. Man, I about cried laughing. I said, hello. That's such rubbish. And I was like, what? Oh, man, who is this cat? Oh, man, I was crying laughing. And then I listened to what he had to say. I was like, I'm the translator.
I'm going to tell you.
Say it again.
This dude, I'm going to tell you how amazing he is, right?
Okay.
He stays up. Like you said, he's 5 hours ahead of us. And once it was like 4 a.m., it was like he's been up for 24 hours. And this man was dropping knowledge on us at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
He sure did. Oh, yes, the psychology of marketing. I was like, huh? It's too late for this.
I'm like, who read? I'm trying to figure out what person in their right mind reads the table of contents of an encyclopedia.
He's the man.
Leon. Oh, yeah.
He said, now back to the show.
We can't leave you out. See? And look, and that's how you make an impact. When you go above and beyond. We talk about adding value. He adds value. So you can't leave him out. Absolutely. Because he's such an integral part of everything that we do. I can't leave him out.
Yes.
He was on our first show.
Absolutely.
He's such a great start with him and brother Aaron. They were first. They were both on first, and I like he's one of those people that when I met him, I felt like I had known him for like a long time. And you always appreciate that. You really do appreciate that. And like I said, I remember meeting you. I met you, Ava, first, and just really enjoying you guys, your show. I mean, it's such a breath of fresh air to come on this platform and see such great content that it's not just, people, talking jive, you know what I mean? That I can come on a Tuesday night and there's a wonderful show that comes on right before you guys, and then slides into your show, and it's just really great programming. And you guys, and I, one thing is I appreciate what you guys do because, I know how hard it is to book guests, especially really high quality, outstanding guests like that. I know that shit ain't easy at all. So, kudos to you guys for, doing such an amazing job and really giving value. And people don't understand. You're getting this high value show for free. So appreciate it, because, you guys, I'm sure y'all could be, on a golf course or, or hair salon or whatever, it is you guys do in your private time. And that's why, so I want to first start off by saying that I appreciate what you guys do very much so. And, like I said, your guests are always fantastic. There's no such thing. Like if somebody said, well, if someone were to ask me, well, what show should I start it with? I'll say start at the beginning. You just enjoy it, because there's value in every guest that you have. And so what I want you to do is kind of give us an idea of what it is that you guys want to accomplish with each episode. Paper bag. Like, what is it that you want the audience to feel at the end of each episode? Either one.
I want them to feel empowered, like they can make the next step. I'm not so much interested in finishing the race because I don't know what their finish line looks like. I'm more so wanting to be able to take the very next step, whatever that is for them. I want them to feel as though they can come to a show and get fed by high quality chefs and give them a roadmap for the next step. Because so many people are concerned about the finish line and you haven't even started the race yet. So that's one of the things that I want people to walk away with is the next step and then actually do it. Because if you listen to any one of these shows, there are at least 5 golden nuggets that a person drops throughout the show that if you just take one and implement it consistently, it'll change your whole world.
Now, you two are the main stars of the show. You do have a third member of of the show that I think gets a lot of love every week, which is Ava's lovely.
Oh, get his own personality. Personality.
There's a reason why I'm bringing lovely raps on the show because I think it's a member of the show as well. And it's one of those kind of things where it's like, okay, what kind of rap is she going to wear this week? It would be strange for you to do a show without one because we're so accustomed to your beautiful raps. And I want you to, Crowns, thank you, Crowns. And I want you to tell us about, when you started wearing these lovely crowns.
Yeah, so I started
and also too, you sell them as well.
wrapping my hair about 2 to 3 years ago exclusively. And, one of the things that happened is that it really became a part of my brand. That was not something that I had necessarily planned. It just, that's what happened because people would always see my crowns and, oh, how do you wrap your hair? And where do you get your head wraps from? And are you going to teach a workshop? And I would get all these questions. And at that point, my thing is like, look, I'm a life coach, like that's, I don't sell hair wrap. Like, what do you want me to do? Like this, I'm a life coach. And so for me, I couldn't quite figure out like how to necessarily balance or bring together the two. But what happened was when I started live streaming, so when I got on Periscope and then I started doing blabs, like it got worse. Because now I'm hearing it all the time when I'm live streaming and when I go on Periscope. Oh my God, I love your head wrap. Oh my God, how do you do that? And so it was like, it became louder. And I said, okay, I can't ignore this anymore. I have to do something. I'm an entrepreneur. I got to figure out a way to make this work and monetize it. And, and so for me, it just became, how can I make this work? And how can I, like we said, get a team? How can I get people to help me? Because I can't do this on my own. I have a full-time business, and I have Boot2Boom, which is essentially another business. And so now I'm adding a third component here. And so once I figured that out, what I needed to put in place, I worked on finding the people that I needed to make it work. And hence Crown by Avalaura was born in February of 2015.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes. He was one of the first before I had the website up, anything.
Not for myself,
mm-hmm.
but
for his mother.
Huh?
You are a man.
A crown for his mother.
Oh, okay.
So people do buy crowns for their wives, for their sisters, for their mothers, for themselves. I had a woman come and she bought a crown for her friend who has cancer. So yes, so a lot of gifts. Yes, we just to clarify.
The reason why that I wanted to say that was because I think it's very important for us to support each other. Lady has a wonderful business, and like I said, I don't wear the crown myself, and but my mother does wear that kind of stuff. So I wanted to definitely support you in that way, and then also lift my moms up. So definitely, if somebody. I'm going to say this at the end of the show.
They can go to crownbyavalaura.com, and I'll also put that in the chat. They can order. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. Everything Crown by Avalaura. So I'm everywhere, and I post stuff up on Facebook and Instagram all the time. And a lot of times, they don't even necessarily make it to the website. I'll post it up on Facebook, and people will purchase it before I can even post it up on the website.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been beautiful. It's been great. I've gotten a lot of support, a lot of love, and all the women who have gotten their crowns truly love it. A lot of them have said they're actually even better in person.
Oh,
yes, and I have international sales. So yes, I have great clients internationally in Europe. Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. It really is.
Thank you.
There you go. Now, I do have you spoke about something about how when people saw you, it became loud. And I want to know from both of you guys, actually, for example, people will say that my laugh is contagious. Mm-hmm. And so when how you hear something over and over and over again. So can you really share with people, what is really the importance to really listen to certain things when you hear things over and over and over again like that? What is really the importance to really listen?
Well, from my perspective, the market dictates their needs. If people are telling you something over and over again, they're crying for solutions. So it's up to us to have an ear to hear and provide that solution. That's why in Boot2Boom, we ask entrepreneurs what problems are they struggling with, because we don't want to just give you what we think you need. Tell us, even in a natural, when you go to a doctor, the first thing he says is, where does it hurt? Tell me where it hurts. So as solution providers, we don't try to reinvent the wheel. If the market is saying, give me a head wrap, then give them a head wrap. And sometimes when you build a team, you have to trust the team and trust the team's experience. Because I told her, look, shoot a video on how to wrap the head wraps. There's a million videos on YouTube about people doing it already. Do the video about wrapping head wraps. They don't want those people. They want you. They want you. So listen to the market, and then listen to those you choose to surround yourself with, because that's important. Because they'll see things that you don't see. They have a different perspective, because everybody is not on the same level. Even though we may see eye to eye, we have different perspectives and different vantage points that you may be blind to. And that's the beauty of having a partner that you have to trust, because if you don't trust them, then you're going to question whatever they say. So back to the original statement, in dealing with the market, you have to listen, because the market will tell you what they want.
And that's essentially what happened, is they kept saying that they want it. And so it's my job as an entrepreneur to provide that solution. It wasn't about me at that point, because it's not something that I ever truthfully thought I was doing. You know, I was wrapping my hair for my own personal reasons. So it's been so beautiful because it's translated so wonderfully into my coaching business. And now a lot of women who buy head wraps from me also want life coaching. So it's been a great, it's just been a great transition. And because they've trusted me through that process of buying a head wrap from me and helping them wrap their hair, now they want to work with me more intimately. Well, you know, Avalaura, I have been struggling with this. I have, you know, women in our hair, you know, there's something, this intimate connection and bond over it. And so through helping with that process, well, I really am struggling in this area. Can you help me with this? And, you know, I wanted to ask you if this is something that you do. And so other conversations start to spark from that. And so I've gotten some really wonderful life coaching clients from the head wraps. So
that's amazing.
Can I answer a question real quick, if that's okay?
Sure.
Rick asked the question, how do you choose the people to help build your brand? And that question really depends upon your strengths and your weaknesses. You kind of want to build to protect yourself, do what you do well, and bring on people who do things better than what you do. If that makes sense. You want to always have people sharper than you in the areas that you're weak in. So whatever your strengths are, play to those strengths. And as entrepreneurs, what I see when I'm consulting with an entrepreneur is they're trying to be a star because of a budget or whatever. And being a star is not conducive to productivity. If you find one thing you do well, stay in that lane and ride it till the wheels fall off and hire people for the rest, because you'll make more money doing your zone of genius, your sweet spot, than you will trying to be this person, that person, this person. Now, look, I get it. I've been a one-man band. I get it. And that was because of ignorance, not by choice. So if you have an option, get people around you who are sharper than you and more proficient in the areas that you're not as strong in. Hope that helps.
I wholeheartedly agree.
You know, it's funny. I see that a lot in filmmaking, and you're audio only, Ava. You see that a lot in filmmaking. You see people that they try to be the director, the editor, the producer, the you know, the caterer, everything, instead of, you know, they try to control every aspect of it instead of, you know what, finding people that can complement you and actually having people who are experts in those areas. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but I want to take a moment to give a quick shout out, chat room shout out. I'm gonna let everybody know that you are listening to the Black Empowerment 365 show with your host Kente and Anna. And in our chat room, we have Leon, we have Aram Soul, we have Rick, we have Jenna, Sherry, we have John, we have Sweet and Sexy, we have Blue Says, Sharice Taylor, we have Nimpum. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. And of course, we have William, Will, in the chat as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are here with both Avalaura and Fitzgerald from Boot2Boom right here on Blab. And they're just, you know, just giving us some knowledge tonight. And one thing, before we transition more into it, let's talk about the title of your show, Boot2Boom. Fantastic title. Tell us how you came up with it. And
this is the beauty again of working with a team of people. And Fitz and I were just brainstorming. You know, brainstorming what is it that we want the show to be about? What is it going to represent? You know, what are we talking about? And initially, you know, through all that brainstorming, I can't remember what Fitz said, but we came up with Bootstrap to Booming. And I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, yeah, that's great, you know. But then, you know, I was like, well, we need a hashtag though. Like Bootstrap to Booming is kind of too big. Like everything is hashtag now. And so we just shortened it and said, well, what about Boot2Boom? And that's how it became Boot2Boom. And we looked online, you know, Fitz is all about, you know, okay, let me look and see if the website, you know, the URL is available. Make sure. Found that was available.
Right.
We're like, all right, great. Let's buy it now. Let's lock it down. That's the name. And that's really how it came about. Just brainstorming and just looking at what we wanted the show to represent and what we wanted people to get to it. And so it being all about the entrepreneur journey from bootstrap to booming, because every entrepreneur goes through that. Well, at least the bootstrap part. They may not make it to the booming. But our goal is that they do make it to the booming. That is what we want to happen, is that we want them to be a success. And so we have certainly done everything in our power to empower and to enlighten and to motivate entrepreneurs and then give them the tools, which is actually one of the reasons we started the masterclass on Monday nights and talking about listening and, you know, and hearing what people need. And one of the things that we were hearing is that our guests are great. People love the show. They come back. But sometimes it can be overwhelming because it's so much information. And so people then don't always know how to take that information and translate it, how to put it into their business, because they're getting so much great information. They're like, oh my God, where do I start? What do I do? And so we started the masterclass to say, hey, look, here's a step-by-step strategic plan of you want to make more money in your business. This is a plan specifically for your business. And here's the next best steps to get there.
Well, I know that there might be some people that might be still traveling at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays, or they might be putting their kids down for whatever reason if they miss Boot2Boom, right? How can they get to the replay?
Not Fitz.
PayPal.me/Fitspeak.
Yes, please share with people, you know, how people are able to watch some of the replays and really get some of those nuggets on a regular basis.
Yeah, they can go to boot2boom.tv. They can actually purchase the replays for $9.99. So on boot2boom.tv, there's a donate button. And so put in $9.99, request which video they want, and we'll send that to them.
You remember that one?
More money, more money.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
That thing made J-Lo famous, baby. And that's where Avalaura got her head wraps from.
These ain't $9.99 head wraps. So yeah.
Also too, all right, so
yes.
So also too, I see in your background is that you have a vision board in your back, and one is tell us, what is the purpose?
Yeah, great question. Vision boards have gotten, pretty popular now, particularly after The Secret. I actually learned how to do vision boards, oh my God, probably 12, 13 years ago now, from a fellow yogi who she had read a book and learned about vision boards and shared it with me. And we actually back then were teaching workshops on how to create vision boards, even, when nobody was talking about vision boards. Nobody knew what the heck a vision board was. But it's a really wonderful, just, a beautiful way of expressing, what are the goals that you have in your life? What are your dreams? What is it that you want to accomplish? And have it visually in your presence every day so you can stay focused. real on your dreams. And so you can write them down, obviously, which is really powerful. But it's something about seeing the images and having something beautiful created around that and having it in your space and being able to look at it every day that makes it a little more real and makes you really just a lot more laser focused in doing the work to achieve your goals. Because ultimately it's not just about the vision board, it's about doing the actual work to get you to accomplish your vision.
Now, are there things that you shouldn't put on your vision board? Like, let's say you want to beat somebody up. Should you put their picture on there?
If you want to beat them up and end up
like,
maybe going to jail or something, sure. If that's what you want. Because, one of the beautiful things about a vision board is it certainly makes it easier to manifest whatever it is that you're working on. So if that's what you want to manifest, I wouldn't recommend that. But hey, to each his own. I'm not going to tell you what you should or should not have on your vision board. But vision boards are definitely powerful. Just having that energy, having it in your space is definitely powerful. So you do want to make sure that you have things on there that you absolutely want to have in your life.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I noticed too, quite a bit of people seem to do the vision boards on Blab. I noticed quite a bit. And yours is, I got to say, yours is very, very well put together because I've seen some kind of messy.
You see a corner of her board.
Can I ask you how
much? But I know why. But you know what though? I digress. I know why you see the vision. I know why you focus on the.
Hinte has a great eye for quality.
You can get this comedy every Tuesday. Yeah. Right here on Blab. Right here on Blab. So, before we say goodbye, I know that you have another venture that you've been running ads for this year on your show. Can you tell us about that? You start running these ads on your show?
Can't hear you, brother.
Hello? I said you've been running these ads now on your show.
Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, what?
I know, I got
Woo! I got the vision now. All right. The masterclass is the next step. It really is the next step for wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey. Avalaura and I have diverse backgrounds that will be able to take you on that journey to success. It's just plain and simple, a great opportunity to grow at a reduced rate. And actually the rate went up just Tuesday because we were undervaluing. Well, we knew from the start it was undervalued, but people who jumped on it got a tremendous blessing. And we can't work for $49 an hour. That's just like trading time for dollars. I stopped that, a long time ago. But our passion to help people keeps us doing it because the end game is to see entrepreneurs succeed, whatever success looks like for you. Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier, it's all about that next step. You can only finish if you start, and you only can start if you take a step. So you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And knowing you have somebody with experience that you can lean on and get some insight from definitely helps. And that's the whole purpose of the masterclass. To take the next step.
People who, the first class that we had, he's right. For $49, it's really ridiculous. They made their money back and she's tripled her money. Gave her a step-by-step formula. She did the work and she's made all her money back and then some. And she's actually selling books and now is ordering more books to sell. And she couldn't figure out how to sell these books.
Now she knows.
So, I mean, we really are in it to help,
and
we really are in it to help entrepreneurs to be successful. We really are truly doing everything within our power to do that. So it's really up to the entrepreneurs to take advantage of that.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no place that you can go and get a live session with professionals for that amount of money. It's just not, so the master class,
Yes.
boom, 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 woo! Jump on in, baby. Would love to have you.
All right. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on this program. It's been, it's always awesome talking to you, fine people. And I want to first start off with Ava, ladies first. How can people reach you in social media? And once again, tell them about your website and how you.
So I am Googleicious. I'm all over social media. So coaching business, primary business, my love, my passion, my world. You can find me at avalaura.com, AVALAURA.com. I'm all over social media. If you go to my website, you'll get all the links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. I'm on everything. And obviously you can follow me here on Blab at Healer Avalaura, and I'm the same at Healer Avalaura on Twitter and on Instagram as well. There's only one Avalaura, so if you type up AVAL, I'm gonna come right up. So you don't have to worry about that. For the crowns, the lovely crowns, let me just make sure y'all can see. Yeah. You can go to crownbyavalaura.com, the website. Crown by Avalaura on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Pinterest. Oh, and on Twitter. So like I said, I'm very easy to find. I've made it very easy for you. You forget all of that, just look up my name. It'll all come up.
Right. How can people get you social media on your website?
Where can they find you?
Say that again.
How can people get you in media and all that stuff?
Okay. I'm hard to find, but I'm very visible. You can go to keepyourdoorsOpen.com. That's keepyourdoorsOpen.com. And there's a link in there to schedule a consultation, because we all need visibility. If you're any kind of business, you don't want to be the best kept secret. You're walking around here as an invisible expert. And invisible experts do not get industry expert money because nobody knows you exist. So let's do an audit. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can help you take the next step in getting visibility, because that all leads to your credibility and you being in a position to profit. Because at the end of the day, you're in business to make an impact, not only yourself, but the world and also your bank account. So what I'll do, because of these two vision areas, here on Black 360 Empowerment, I'm gonna give you a little discount if y'all pull your cell phones out to the text message service and type in 63975 is the number, and type the word leads, LEADS. I am going to offer you a 20-minute complimentary session to talk about your auditing needs and your visibility. So that's 63975. We all got a cell phone. Pull it out and type the word leads, LEADS, with your name, and you'll get a link. Boom, boom. Email right back to you, to my schedule, to my exclusive schedule. Book a time, and we'll have a great time helping you take the next step, because that's important. I'm not talking about running no fast race. Let's just take the first step.
Absolutely.
And then get you going.
All right. Across the board, you can find me at happyworkweek.com, Twitter, Happy Work Week. You can find me across the board, Happy Work Week. I'm on Instagram at Happy Work Week, Pinterest at Happy Work Week, my page on Facebook, Happy Work Week 555. I have a group that we're going to really start revving up here soon on Facebook as well. Is the Happy Work Week community. So I'm across the board. And just like Avalaura said, I'm not hard to find. If you put in Happy Work Week, you're going to find me as well. So all things Happy Work Week. So Kente, how can people get in touch with you and find you?
You can find me at Kente F on Twitter. And of course, you get the show on indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. And we like to do this segment every week. This day in history for April 22nd. We go to the year 1922, and the great Charles Mingus was born. Terrific jazz musician. And that was April 22nd, 1922. That's our this day in history for today. Once again, I'd like to thank our guest, and thank everybody who came. And next week, we'll be joined by author Diamond Disclosure. So we're looking forward to that as well. And you guys have a great weekend, and God bless.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Doing a great
you.
job.
Thank you.